Devin Hester, you are ridiculous.
The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Shut up. See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans.
This is the Barely Qualified Podcast with your hosts, Nick Labris, Jason Maxwell, and Drew Bailey.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Barely Qualified Podcast. Welcome to December. Welcome to the number one spot in the NFC for the Chicago Bears. I'm Drew Bailey. With me, as always, are Nick Labris and Jason Maxwell. Guys, I got to say, this is probably the best feeling I've had about a Bears team in my adult life. And Nick, you've been saying a few times in a few chat that these are feelings that we haven't quite felt in some time as Bears fans. But before we get too carried away in our feelings and how things are going right now, as Chicago Bears fans, we're going to talk a little bit about the Bears win over the Eagles on Black Friday, talk shop up around the league, the rest of the NFL, what happened in week 13, and round things out with podium list topic. But before we get to all of that, I want to tell you a little bit about our friends over at Lola's Handcrafted Churros in downtown Lisle. Lola's offers up handcrafted churros from scratch, made to order and piping hot. Doesn't stop there. Lola's pairs these bad boys with ice cream sundaes. I'm talking s'mores churro sundae, matcha fruity pretzels, Nutella, and strawberry, and the list goes on and on. Get a sundae, get a dozen, just stop in for one. Whatever you do, you're going to love it. They have coffee, horchata, freshly made churros, ice cream, and as a wise man once said, what more could you want? Check them out at Lola, L-O-L-A, churros.com. Follow them on Insta and TikTok at Lola's Handcrafted Churros, and let us know how you like it. So let's get into it. Bears win against the Eagles on Black Friday. Been a bit of an interesting week. Thanksgiving week always is, with some football spread out amongst about four days-ish. But Nick, why don't you kick it into the Bears recap and how we're feeling about our Chicago Bears?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing we can talk about just before right off the jump is, you want to add a signature win to your season. Like, this is it. This is the one. You went to the defending champs and you really took it to them the entire game. I mean, the score looks a little bit closer than the game actually felt, but this was a pure, just physical domination by the Bears from start to finish. And I'll be the first to admit it. When I saw the schedule come out and I saw the Bears had a standalone game against the Super Bowl champs on Black Friday, I was terrified. I didn't want to see it. I didn't think anybody wanted to see it. And here we are on the other side of it. Bears are 9-3. Still kind of hard to, still kind of pinching yourself a little bit. I think, I don't know. I definitely, we talked earlier this season, we said 8 or 9 wins would be a successful season. And here we are with our 9th win in week 13. Still have a little bit of a mountain to climb with some good teams in our way, but just overall, where the Bears are right now, I said this in that text to you guys, Drew. You kind of referenced it, but I was skeptical of the season going for a long time. I always thought the record would kind of even itself out based on when the get a little bit harder. But I'm bought in, 100% bought in. I'm 100% bought in on Ben Johnson. I'm 100% bought in on this team. This team can beat anybody, and I think I said it's going to take an A+ effort to beat this team. They might not win every game, but they're going to fight in every game. And I believe it. Chicago believes it, but more importantly, that locker room believes it. They just believe it. The coaching staff has this team believing, which is all you can really ask for. So, yeah, that's how I want to start the show, just by signature win. And I think this is kind of the game everybody had circled, all right, this is the make or break. Is this team for real or not? And they just went in there and totally dominated. So I am fully bought in, and it couldn't come at a better time. We'll talk about this more on Thursday, but obviously this is a big week for Bears fans. Right? Clinched. We took the number 1 seed. We didn't clinch it. We have it right now, and it's Packers week. So big game this week. big week this week. We'll get into that on Thursday, but man, this is exciting. Drew, you're right. This is like the most excited I've probably been about a Bears team in my life, maybe outside the Super Bowl team in 06. This is just awesome. It's great to be a Bears fan right now. It really is. And didn't think it would come this fast. So that's my little monologue to start the show. So apologies on that.
Hey,
but
the Bears are the talk of the town right now. And by the town, I mean, like, it almost feels like they're the talk of the NFL. Which hasn't happened very many times in the last, it's probably since Lovey, Smith, Brian Urlacher, all of those. But like everyone is talking about them after this win and how it's time to take them seriously. We've been talking about it for a few weeks now, but it's great. It's great to see on a national level. It's great to see on a Chicago level, but just great in general.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, let's dive into this game a little bit, shall we? I mean, if we had a game, it's been a while, but the Bears did play a game this week. God, it feels like it's been 2 weeks since the game. I don't know about you guys. It feels like it's been a long week. But just again, we're going to go more into details on the offense, but just the running game. Take a second and think about where the Bears were with the running game in like week 2, week 3, week 4. And how far they've come in that running game. The Eagles are not slouches on defense. They got Jalen Carter. They got dudes. They got one of the best linebacking cores in the league. They have Vic Fangio as their defensive coordinator. This is not a team that is like, yeah, their numbers aren't great, but at the end of the day, like they're not a team that you expect to have 280 rushing yards put up on, especially at home. And I don't know if you guys have seen some of the tape or some of the clips, but the Bears offensive line put on an absolute clinic in run blocking this week. They were absolutely mauling people. The Eagles defenders were on skates the whole game. It was some of the best smash mouth football I've ever seen in my life. Like, period.
It was art. It was like a symphony. I actually watched. And if you guys haven't, not just you, Nick and Drew, but like anyone listening hasn't seen it, there's plenty of stuff on Twitter that has some compilations of phenomenal pass blocking. And it really was magical and like just artful to see bodies just being moved out of the way. Pair that up with Monangai and Swift just reading and cutting properly. And it was exactly how football is supposed to be played when you're talking about smash mouth, run-oriented football. It was the best game, I think, that the NFL's seen from a complete rushing perspective in a very, very long time. And that's saying something.
Yeah.
And not one 125-yard rusher, two, but I think it was something to say that the 2 games over 280 yards on the ground so far this year are owned by the Bears. The other one is Jonathan Taylor in Germany for Indy, where it just looked like that guy couldn't be tackled ever. It goes to say something 100% when it's 2 guys doing it, because that shows you that it's definitely another component or a couple other components on top of the rushers doing it. But you've got the offensive line, like Jay touched on. The schemes are just so ridiculous, though. So much motion, so much just what's the word I'm looking for? Eye candy that you just can't track. Yeah. Like, you don't know how to track as a defense because there's so many moving parts, and that's just the brilliance of Ben Johnson. That is so fun to watch. You might not, like Jay was saying, you might not catch it in game, but go back and watch some of this stuff, and you're like, how could anyone pay attention of what's going on?
It's truly beautiful. One other thing that I want to call out in a very positive light is that, the Bears ran the ball 47 times. This wasn't 280 yards and you had 2 big 80-yard rushes to fill up the stat sheet. This was just complete domination and chunking 4, 6s, and 8s. And that's what Ben Johnson said in his presser today. And that's what he was most proud of the offensive perspective this was just a constant barrage of they're getting 4 yards no matter what. And if you can establish that, you can't be stopped in the NFL. And that's going to put the Bears in every game that they're going to play. If they're going to, obviously 281, we're not going to get that all the time, right? It's just statistically improbable. But if they can get their blockers and that line to get to the second level like they were doing consistently against the Eagles, then they're going to be just fine in every game. And that's really, really, I don't remember being able to say that ever, really, as a Bears fan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jay, I'm really glad you brought that up, because one of the things I wanted to bring up at some point during this was that I looked it up. The Bears' longest run in this game was 44 yards, which is a good run. But like you said, we're not talking like an 85-yard, like catch them in a blitz, make a guy miss in the open field, you're off to the races. We're talking about just complete and utter domination from start to finish. You said they got 4 yards whenever they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they wanted. And again, Eagles defense is not bad. They're a good defense. So the fact that they were able to do this is just, I think, evidence to show that Ben Johnson's scheme is working. Like, there's really like his Drew with all the motions and everything. And one other thing I want to call out, the offensive line had an unbelievable run blocking game. I don't want to take anything away from them because I'm not trying to. They were awesome. The wide receivers, the tight ends, the other running backs, like every single person on the field was blocking their asses off, and you can't get to 280 rushing yards in a game without that. So The fact that every single player on this team is bought in to run the ball as well as they did it's just so good to see. So I just wanted to call that out. Another thing I want to call out, this is the first Bears team, the first time there have been 125 plus rushing yard guys on the two guys with 125 plus rushing yards on the same team since 1985. First time two Bears have had over 100 yards rushing in the same game, also since 1985, with two guys, the name of Matt Suey and Walter Payton. You ever heard of them? Just unbelievable effort by the Bears on the road. Just completely dominated the run. And it's just, we're going to talk about it more because it deserves it, but just have to throw that out to start because it's just been so much fun to watch these clips and the tape and just see the offense just absolutely moving people. Like it's like whenever they needed to, it was awesome to watch. So yeah, Bears offense. I mean, the offense wasn't completely perfect. We'll talk about that in a minute, but the run game was about as close to perfect as you can get.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think another thing that warrants being talked about is, I mean, Ben Johnson going tarps off in the locker room. I think that is like equally to the amount that I've heard people talk about the Bears running game and absolutely bullying the Eagles. I've heard the equal amount of people commenting on Ben Johnson taking his shirt off at the game. Actually got a reference to it by Troy Hickman and Joe Buck on the Monday night broadcast in the first half, which was pretty funny. Yeah, I loved it. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys? I mean, I assume it was all love, but it was very cool to see. But boys are fired up.
Boys are fired up. Drew,
Yeah,
I mean, what do you think?
Anytime you can, obviously tied it into hunger for wins and hunger for everything, and you could kind of tell in his speech where he was going with it. And then he goes, the city of Chicago is hungry, and then ripped his shirt off for hot dogs. So he is I wouldn't say a closet, but he's a storyteller, man. Like he'll tie things in and really make you like keep you on the hook for everything. And you can tell when that was brought up a couple of weeks ago, like, are you going to do it? And he's like, why would you want to see that? Why would you want to, like, I don't know. He's just dangling it in front of him. Like, I love that.
No, it was great. And again, if you haven't listened to it, Ben's presser from today was fantastic. That was actually the first question the media asked him was about his shirt getting ripped off. And he's like, you know what? The fans deserve something. There's a hype growing around this team, and I wanted, it was you got to feed Chicago with Wiener Circle giving out free food for the shirt off. He also made a pretty funny comment too. He's like, "Hey, I haven't been hitting the weight room. I've got a little 2-year-old. I'm coaching, so it's now or never, right? And the body's getting a little doughy. It's now or never." It's pretty funny. He's a funny dude. Yeah. He's very well spoken. And so you can see what the locker room brides in case is authentic. You can kind of just tell that in the way he just conducts a press conference. He's telling it how it is. You love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those listeners, if you're not aware of what the actual promotion for it is, not promotion, but with the, I don't know, the challenge, the bet, whatever it was, whatever you want to call it. Wiener Circle in Chicago, right there in Wrigleyville, Lakeview, it's on Clark, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Is giving out free hot dogs tomorrow at the recording of this, Tuesday, December 2nd. So if you're in the Wrigleyville, Lakeview area, go get yourself a free hot dog. Let us know how it is. I'm sure it's delicious, but very fun, very cool to see. It was just cool to see everybody reacting to that, as well as the Bears' performance on the field. It's been a very fun season. So, had to throw Ben Johnson going tarps off out there for this, to kind of take away from the Bears a little bit, to kind of go to the flip side. Man, if you're an Eagles fan, I don't know, man, like they're 7-4, right? Or not 7-4, sorry,
8-4, I think.
8-4. Apologies, 8-4, which is good. Have like a 99% chance of making the playoffs because your division's bad, so that's also good. But I mean, I talked about it on our preview show. This team is headed the wrong direction. They're statistically on the bottom half of the league in pretty much all the important stuff. They just got punched in the mouth at home by a team that they were 7 points favorites in this game, and they got punched in the mouth, and they lost by 9. But again, this game didn't really feel like 9. This game felt like a 17-point win. Let's be honest.
It did.
What do you do if you're an Eagles fan? I mean, this team was getting booed off their field, like in the second half of this game. Not to brag a little, but I did call that would happen. So
I was going to say you did.
Some props there, but what do you like if you're an Eagles fan? You watched them win the Super Bowl last year, which is good, but you also 2 years ago watched them get off to a hot start and completely like just go straight downhill the second half of the season, then get blown out in the first round of the playoffs. What do you do if you're an Eagles fan? Drew, I don't know, or Jay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there's real kind of choppy waters right now. And 8-4 is fine. They're going to get in the playoffs. You have to think, unless an utterly epic collapse happens. But we've been kind of saying it even in our around the league stuff throughout the season. Like I don't know what Sirianni's doing. I don't know what their coaching staff is doing. It's, the Bears kind of put out the script. If you can go ahead of the Eagles and you have to put the ball into Jalen Hurts' hands, that's not where you want to be. And their inability to lean on Saquon in the run game is confusing to me. I'm not sure whether or not just doing that more, but they got to figure that out. I mean, the talent's there. They won the Super Bowl last year, basically the same roster, very, very similar roster. So I don't know, but I'd be panicking. I'd be pissed if I was an Eagles fan. But I mean, at the same time, you're 8-4. You're still going to go to the playoffs. Like, life's been good to you if you're an Eagles fan. So, maybe chill.
One ad here is, I feel like it has been a couple of weeks coming that play calling needs to change for Philadelphia. It's apparent. It is apparent that needs to happen. However, that does not mean Philadelphia fans. I'm so happy when I hear you guys upset. Like you're booing your own team on Black Friday. I love that. That goes for just about only your fan base. That I want to see you leaving in the fourth quarter like we did. But that does not mean, if you guys haven't seen this, I just actually looked it up because I needed to look up his name. Apparently, the OC, Kevin Padula's house got vandalized.
Oh, boy. Oh, God.
Just last night. It just got egged. He just got egged.
Jesus
so it's
Christ.
not like there was
like broken windows,
terrible things. Yeah. I think it says suggested some eggs and some rocks, but like, come on, Billy. Like, yeah, you don't need to have more effect. Like, booing's enough. You're gonna boo your team at home, go ahead, but like, don't take it too far. This is ridiculous.
I don't know. It's probably a father-son combo, after a rack of ice house.
If you're a coach in Philadelphia, you got to live in New Jersey or something like that. You can't live in Philadelphia. That's kind of on you at that point,
Yeah. No, that's 100% right.
It's not. I mean, you can't do that. So, or like live underground,
in the war bunker,
or in like a penthouse of like a super high condo that can't be vandalized. Like you can't can't live in like a normal house down in Philadelphia proper. So
yeah, I mean, this is the same fan, and again, Sirianni, like maybe they do have a point where they wanted Sirianni out, but like the next year he won a Super Bowl, so it's like it's not as bad as they think that it is in Philly with their Eagles being in the playoffs every goddamn year.
That reminds me, so just the Philly vandalism thing, just PMT talks about this a lot, and it just cracks me up every single time. Do you guys ever hear it? I think it happened in like the late 90s, maybe the early 2000s. Some company built like a robot that was the idea was for it to hitchhike across the North America. Have you guys heard of this?
Yeah.
The Hitchbot. And it like made it like started in like Vancouver and went all the way around Canada all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast. And then it came down to America, and it started on the East Coast of America, got to Philadelphia, which if you're not a geography guy isn't very far. And the Philadelphia people just absolutely destroyed this robot. Like just fucked it up and put it in like an alley and left it just sitting there in pieces. One of my favorite Philly stories of all time. So
that's
good people in Philadelphia.
The best.
So yeah, the best. So yeah, that, Eagles probably in trouble, but we'll see. Who's not in trouble right now is the Chicago Bears. They are currently in first place in the entire NFC. Thank you very much to the Carolina Panthers. Don't know what not to digress, but the Panthers are the most confusing team I've ever seen in my entire life. That's why I stopped betting on them, because I never
did.
So anyway, Panthers beat the Rams. Bears beat the Eagles. Therefore, Bears are currently sitting at number 1 seed in the NFC. They have a game lead in the NFC North, and they also own the NFC East, going 4-0 against the NFC East this season. Which is it's honestly a lot of fun. This is this is so much fun to have this season. I can't remember the last time the Bears went 4-0 against any division. To be honest, I don't know if it's happened. So not at least in the past, 20 years. So it's very exciting to see this happen. And a fitting way for this alliance to end by the Bears just, emasculating the Eagles at home. So on national television.
God, the national TV part. I mean, I don't think the three of us can stress that enough. What an absolute fear that was. And to come out on the spotlight, everyone's watching the game and just show up is like, thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, we're going to talk some defense, but there were some stressful moments in this game, and there was obviously one very particular play that kind of turned everything around for me personally, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's dive a little bit more into the offense of this game, since we talked at length off the run game, and honestly probably going to give them some more credit as well with some more stats and everything. But first, I want to start with the pass game, which was definitely not up to par with the running game. Not that, I don't know, the running game was so elite. I don't know if it could have been, but it was not very good. Let's just come out and say it. The pass game was not very good. It was, Caleb had some plays. Like, obviously, he had a scramble for a first down that was pretty big. And then, the play I've seen a bunch is the throw to Komet, which was unbelievable. Just kind of shows you that all of the talent and skill and everything you want is in there. Just need to get it out. But overall, not very good. 17 for 36, which is obviously less than 50% completion percentage, only 154 yards, which has kind of tanked his quest for 4,000, basically putting him on pace for about 3,850, needing about 255 yards per game to hit the 4,000-yard mark, which makes me think it's probably not going to happen, which makes me think I'm going to stop tracking it and bringing it up in hopes that people forget altogether and stop talking about it. But regardless, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, the throw to Komet, which was unbelievable. Interception, which was a interception on a screen pass, which was not very good. Took 2 sacks. So overall pass game, not great. I don't know. It just looked sloppy, disjointed. Kind of the complete opposite of the run game. So, did you guys do you guys have any takeaways from the Bears pass game in this game? Drew?
Caleb, I don't feel like he's regressing. It just seems like to me he's showing different inadequacies like that I feel like they just pop up every other game or every third game, and it's like reminding me, oh yeah, he's he still can't do that, and it is pissing me off a little bit. Like the touchdown he could have thrown to Rome, when you throw a back foot pass, really reminded me of a former quarterback that we had last before him, of Justin Fields, who couldn't set his feet and throw a ball on a rope. I know Caleb's got the arm strength to make stuff like that happen. It's just not happening all the time, and it's hard to put your finger on what the cause of that is. Is it just Caleb being too quick with decision making, or trying to rely on his ability to do things, and he's just not calibrated correctly? Or maybe he needs to do a little bit more movement in the pocket to get himself a clean set and throw. But then you see things like the throw to Komet that is just, it shows you how flash in the pan he can be, and shows you that he is of the upper echelon of arm strength and talent in this league. And you're just confused. You're left confused of what this guy can be and is going to be. And I really can't put my finger on it. But what I do know is right now, at least this year, he is a winner. So I'm going to take that. And he has bought into Ben Johnson's system and handing the ball off as many times as he has to have success. So the one thing, I can't take any more screens. I can't see him dump the ball into the ground 75% of the time because he doesn't know how to throw a screen or doesn't know how to touch it over a defensive end. Just stop. We're not in a Luke Getsy offense anymore. Get it out of here. I'm done with it.
Yeah. I mean, Drew, I think you addressed that perfectly. One thing I would add is, it's just the accuracy. It's the normal stuff. And we've talked about it in shows past and in weeks past, but it's making the easy stuff look hard and making the hard stuff look easy. And that's kind of the Caleb that we have. And to Caleb's credit, at least when the going gets tough and the moment becomes clutch, he's delivered for this team this season. And so that's fantastic. But again, Ben Johnson, not to keep on bringing up a Ben Johnson presser, but it was very insightful. And he was asked directly about that. Like the great win, but the pass game looked off. Walk us through that. And he said, yeah, no, that's something we're talking about in our meetings, and we're working with Caleb on it. And it's, we're winning games. These are Ben Johnson's words. We're winning games despite the passing game. And we want to get that back on track. And so I have faith that they're going to work through that. Accuracy for a quarterback, I don't know how you work. I don't know I'm not a coach, so I'm not going to say that it's not possible, but it's something that I think all of us Bears fans would like to see improved upon quickly, because again, this is another win. It's 9 wins that we have on the season against 3 losses. In those 9 wins, I wouldn't say that our offense, other than the Cowboys, maybe has looked like it's been clicking on all cylinders. So there's some silver lining. There's some hope to see in that, but come playoff time, you're not going to be able to win playoff games if you're not clicking on all cylinders. So there's some concern in there. But hey, like you said, Drew, he's a winner. We're winning games, and he's doing things with his feet too. It's just that accuracy really needs to improve.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I mean, the pass game, it just doesn't look as smooth as you'd expect it to at this point. But yeah, like you said, the good news is that we're getting by without it. We're kind of waiting, despite our run game, our pass game, as Ben Johnson has said, run game looks elite. The scheme is looking good, and Caleb can still, make those highlight plays here and there, which, helps. So, obviously you want to see that better. I'm not trying to say that that's good enough. We need to see it better, but, the Bears are winning in spite of it. So I am, not ringing the alarm bells right this second, but yeah, definitely want to see that improve. But one thing Caleb is doing a good job is that he is still, delivering the ball to many different receivers, which is something that we've talked about before. Let's see, 6 pass catchers had receptions in this game. Leading in receptions was Luther Burden with 4 catches, by the way.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. Cole Kmet obviously had the long touchdown. Colson Loveland had 6 targets. Rome had 6 targets. DJ had 5 targets. You're seeing a lot of your guys getting targets. It's just need to convert those into catches. I think is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, to throw Caleb a bone in this game too, the wind was howling. I mean, it really was incredibly windy. So I mean, I have no problem cutting him some slack. You could see, I mean, Jalen Hurts, a former Super Bowl MVP, and I'm not saying that he's a good quarterback. I hate Jalen Hurts, but I mean, the guy's delivered. He's a winner. You want to talk about winners? Jalen Hurts is a winner, and he looked like trash that game. So I'm not going to be hypercritical in one game, especially when it's a win. But you could watch the tape and just watch the game and be like, oof. Wish we had that one back. And that I think that's the stat that I want to kind of measure is I'd like to see less than 3 oof. That was an open receiver and we missed him, and we could keep it as simple as that.
Yeah. And I don't think it was as much of a you look from behind and it's like a wide open guy that you're missing down the field. And it's just a guy in the flat that you should hit for 5 yards. Roam in the flat where he's not having to jump and overextend his arms because you have that throw that should be in his chest and he makes one guy miss and that could be a big play. But those things just seem like they should be basic at this point. And they're not. And it's, again, a little concerning, but more than that is Caleb just – he's shown that he can win games at the end of a game. Didn't have to do that here. So maybe that's why he wasn't in his peak form at the end of a game and didn't need to take over or didn't need to do anything huge. So we know that's when Caleb kind of shows up, but I just want to see it in the middle of a game.
Yeah. One last thing, not to harp on things, but it just popped in my head. It's like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the 2 quarterbacks that live within Caleb Williams is, okay, you could see that throw to Cole Kmet that sealed the game. And that's a throw and a play and a scramble out going against the grain and just putting an absolute dime on a partially covered receiver. I mean, Cole was not wide open. He had a step on him, but it was a very long throw, very difficult body angle, and he delivered an absolute strike, a perfect ball. And you look in the NFL, and maybe there's 2-3 quarterbacks other than Caleb that can deliver that pass. And it's like, okay, so we take that. That is beyond good. That's awesome. But then there's also throws like, well, Joe Flacco can deliver a 5-yard out on time and in the numbers and in stride. And Caleb doesn't always do that as successfully. So it's this weird, you have to take the good with the bad because, there have been plays in the game where it's like, I think only Caleb can, in a handful of guys can make that play and deliver and put points on the board. And then you're left kind of pounding your head against the wall, being like, why can't you just put it all together and do the easy stuff too? The easy stuff seems like it'll be easier to get coming along though. And that's why I'm still, pretty bullish and hopeful that, he's still young, season and a half under his belt. So the room for growth is still there.
Yeah. And I think it's also worth pointing out again, it took us, the first month or 2 of the season to kind of get the run game established. And I think a lot of that has to do with the complexity of the Ben Johnson offense. I do think I think that if you look at Caleb's stats against Jared Goff's first season with his offense back in 2021 on the Lions, they're pretty similar. Jared Goff did have a higher completion percentage, but for the most part, they're pretty similar statistics because I do think, Jared Goff coming from the McVay system was probably a little bit easier for him.
Yeah.
But when you have Caleb Williams, who came from college to whatever the fuck you want to call last year's team, to this year, I think I made the comparison of driving a Geo Metro to like a Maserati, right? Or something like that. They're totally different things. Honestly, it's more like driving like a Honda Civic to flying an airplane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More like what it is. Like I could do one of those things. I would need a lot of help doing the other one of those things.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him a lot of slack as well. If this inaccuracy continues into middle to end of next year, then I think we can start, being a little concerned about it. But as of right now, yeah, I'd like to see it be better, but I also understand that it's learning a very complex offensive system in the NFL is not something you can just study one night and figure out. So
I said it was going to be the last thing, but another thing popped in my head because I'm being critical on Caleb with his accuracy, but and Nick, you mentioned the complexity of the Ben Johnson offense. Caleb, the last 2 or 3 weeks, has done a fantastic job of being a general of the offense and making sure that those motion penalties and pre-snap penalties aren't occurring as frequently anymore. And we alluded to that. Hey, you know what? These penalties are happening. We are confident that as the offensive line progresses and as the offense as a whole unit kind of gels together and learns this complex offense, those things will be minimalized as the season goes on. And they have. And a lot of that credit should be on Caleb's, shoulders. And he should get praise for a lot of that because he's the one that's commanding all of that and the snap cadence and the timing and the motion and all of that and those checkdowns and audibles outs. And so there's a lot going on pre-snap, and he's doing a great job of staying ahead of the sticks and not having those penalties come back to bite us in the ass. And I think there's a correlation there of beating better teams on a better team on the road and us only having 3 or 4 penalties, right? That's really nice to see.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a big piece of why the Bears have been able to string together some wins is because they've been able to nip the penalties in the bud a little bit. So I think that's important. But okay, enough negative on the passing game. Let's get into the fun stuff. We're going to kind of go back to where we started. We're going to go to the run game a little bit more just because it was so damn fun to watch and they were so good. And it was definitely Bears talking about it more than once. So as we mentioned, the Bears ran for 281, I believe was the total yards in this game. Completely just bullied the Eagles. I've seen people trying to dub nicknames to the Bears running backs. I've seen several. The one that resonated the most with me, just being a Chicago thing, the Blues Brothers. I thought that was kind of cool, but I also thought it was kind of cheesy, so I threw it out there on Instagram to see what the fans thought. We got 2/3 of the vote that they liked it, so that's the official vote for the Chicago Bears running back, thing. So we won. We're gonna name the Blues Brothers now. I don't know. Anyway, DeAndre Swift, 125 yards, 7-yard average. Common guy, 130 yards, almost 6.6 yards to carry. I mean, these guys ran the ball for 40 times between the two of them and averaged over 6 yards a carry. That's insane. These guys they're not running for 6 and they're breaking one. They ran 40 yards, 40 carries each, and they combined, and averaged over 6 yards a carry.
So utter domination.
It's utter domination. And two, you look at how deflating that is to a defense. You guys talked about it at the beginning of this of an 80-yard run once is a little deflating, but that's something you can overcome. You chunking off anywhere from 7 to 15 yards every not every play, but in every sequence or every other set of downs, that is deflating. You could see it on some of their you saw it on Jalen Carter's face. You saw it on Nolan Smith's face. These guys did not want to tackle some of these guys because they were just getting pushed aside. They couldn't catch gaps. They couldn't catch anything. They couldn't catch any breaks. So much props to Ben Johnson for keeping his foot on the gas pedal of the run game. Because at any time you could have been like, yep, okay, we've established enough. Let's get the play action involved a little bit more. Let's try to get things, try to get a chunk play in the pass game. That wasn't going to happen. So, just deflating to defense when you consistently are giving up those bigger chunk yards on the ground.
And obviously hats off to our Blues Brothers because when they saw the hole and they hit it and they were getting extra yards from there. I can't praise the offensive line enough. Literally just snow plowing people out of the way. And it looked like Jonah Jackson was just, it was like synchronized swimming of offensive line blocking when this true team unit was just saying they were on the same page and then they were physically moving people while being on the same page. It was I said it before, but it was truly like this orchestra symphony of just beautiful art that you could see on film. I guess not to get too far ahead of myself, but this thought kind of was like, do we have 2 or 3 Pro Bowler offensive linemen? Right? 4, possibly. Dahlman on that tape. Yeah, probably not. Getting a little greedy, but like Tooney's a lock. Dahlman should be in the conversation too. He's been doing fantastic, and you still have these guys that are maybe, I think the knock on Dahlman is he's more of a zone kind of finesse guy. He was mauling people. And Darnell Wright, I mean, lo and behold, that guy's just a grizzly bear on the right side. I mean, you put a paw up and you're getting pushed out of the way. It's fantastic.
Do you think Darnell Wright has seen the discourse about how people are mad that the Bears didn't take Jalen Carter and they took him instead? Because the game we just watched looked like a man who was like motivated by more than just, I want to win this football game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure.
I think that might have something to do with it, because he definitely was. I mean, Jalen Carter, good football player. That dude was a non-factor in this game.
He was. That's true. That is very true.
So, it's so encouraging. Last thing I'm going to say on the offensive line, but I could say so many things about them. It's so encouraging to see that year over year, our biggest problem has now turned into almost like, this doesn't happen often, guys. Our biggest problem now has turned into almost our biggest strength. For of course, like that's so rare to see in the NFL, and it takes so much time for development. But that just shows you that we have the right people in place to identify the problems that we have, and they're going to try to find solutions. And they went out and did the right things. They found a core, hopefully, that is able to stick around and stay healthy for a long amount of time, because this is you win it in the trenches. Nick, we've said it. Jay, we've said it. You win it in the trenches and you're going to have success. And right now we are. So that's the recipe.
Yeah. And it's nice to see DeAndre Swift kind of start to shine a little bit. And obviously Monangai is too, but like, I did feel kind of bad for DeAndre Swift. Like, hey, you're the future back in Detroit. Whoops. We drafted Gibbs, one of the best backs in the NFL, and we'll ship you out of town. And then he goes to the Eagles, and it's like, you know what? We'd rather have Saquon, because who wouldn't? And now I feel like he has this nice little landing spot in Chicago after a year of, the offense that you alluded to last year, was like, this is brutal. And now he's got like just running lanes, and he can kind of show off that speed. Because when you watch him hit a hole that's open, he is fast and light in his feet, and he can cut with the best of them really quick. And it is a delight to watch, because if you can put him into space where he has a lane and all he needs to make is a one cut or a quick little jab step, he can do that. And he's kind of showing off that speed in it. I've never really seen him be able to get off to like full DeAndre Swift speed, because he's normally met behind the line in years, last year. So it's nice to see that too. And hopefully he's feeling good, and that he's got a nice little landing spot here in Chicago.
Yeah. I agree with all that. I also think it's nice. I mean, not only that, but he's also got a chip on his shoulder from those teams kind of patting on him and going somewhere else. So I think that is helpful as well. But yeah, I mean, the running game, God, if they can just keep even a little bit of what they're doing the last few weeks, I think this team is as good as anybody in the NFC. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But I do want to get to the defense as well, because while the defense may not have, I may not have been as flashy as some. I mean, there were some good plays. I alluded earlier to a play that was an absolute turning point in the game for me. Just put your guys in my shoes. I was watching this game at a bowling alley in Arlington Heights, because my wife and her sister wanted to meet up with the kids. We did that. And I'm watching this game with my brother-in-law. We are just winning, but then the Eagles pick off Caleb Williams on the screen pass, and I thought the game was over. Bears were going to lose. And the Eagles are driving down, and then lo and behold, here comes 3rd and 1, push time. And Nashawn Wright with the strip and recovery of the fumble on the push play. Honestly, that play is like when I was like, holy shit, this team is different. Like, this is a different team than I've ever seen. Like, they just This is the Super Bowl champs doing their like patented play that the league can't beat. They're trying to get it outlawed, and the Bears just beat it on national TV and just said like, "Hey, this is the play you guys are talking about? This is the play you guys can't stop. All right, we're just gonna go take the ball from them. Like you guys can try and stop all you want. We're just gonna take the ball." And I loved it, and that play like just flipped the switch to me. Like this team's different. So I don't know. We can talk more defense. I just had to get that out there because it was such a huge play. It really was, and it was I don't know. It just got me back into the game, coming back like I don't know, all the way back. So I had to throw that out there because we've given Deshaun Wright a lot of credit, and deservedly so. That play I think was the best play he's made all season.
Yeah,
that play took away all of the things that AJ Brown burned him for me. This game, not that I needed to really touch on that, but that's something that everyone has had problems with. Whatever respective fan bases you're in, they tried to outlaw that play, and shows that whoever's coaching up Deshaun Wright to be a ball hawk and go get the ball and go make these impact plays, whether it's Dennis Allen or whether it's the cornerback coach or whoever, like needs to be given props too, because he has been being put in the right place to make these plays too. And yeah, Nick, that was 100% the turning point for this defense, because at that point 10-9, just turn the ball over. Caleb just did, and you go down and Philly scores, and it's a much different game, much different feeling game. Might have changed the script in some ways for the offense, and instead you take the ball away, which you've been hot on this season, and this becomes a patented Bears 2025 go down and win the game.
Yeah, Al Harris, the defensive backs coach for the Bears, deserves a lot of credit. Yep. Yeah. He totally does, because, I mean, not only was it Deshaun Wright being big play Nate again, but Kevin Byard had a beautiful interception as well. These guys just have a nose for the ball and how to turn the ball over. And I mean, like we've been saying it all year, our turnovers predictable. Is there potential for regression? Sure, whatever, fine. But ride the wave while it's here. I mean, that was part of the Bears defense when we were going to the playoffs and we had no offenses. Like sometimes teams just have a nose for the ball, and that doesn't have to be a knock and a reason to predict that team's not going to be great. I mean, if you're coached to do that, you have a natural knack for it. We have guys that just have that natural nose for the ball. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I don't want to give Al Harris too much credit because I don't want him to leave us for a defensive coordinator job next year.
Fair. Yeah, not doing too good.
But no. Yeah, no. He was one of the assistant coaches that I was most excited about when they hired him, just because of all the things he did in Dallas. Like Dallas had, Deron Bland and Travion Diggs, who were both just ball hawks in Dallas, and they ever since he left have not been so much. So I had a feeling that Al Harris had something to do with that, and then I think that I thought that he would do a good job. I didn't think it would be this good job. I didn't think they had this much talent on the roster, especially when get past like Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker. But my God, he has made such a difference on the defense. I mean, Dennis Allen as well. I'm not trying to overshadow Dennis Allen. His scheme. He's like kind of the leader of the defense. But just the whole defensive staff, all the players, just doing a ton of things. Speaking of players, boys, I have never heard of two of the names that are playing linebacker for the Bears in this game.
I'm glad you admitted that, because I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, I have heard of. Well, I've read the name. Not even going to try and pronounce it.
I'm sorry.
Not going to say what you wrote. It's an Ooga Booga, which I don't think that's a proper pronunciation, but it might be. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to Google that. But Daniel Hardy and DeMarco Jackson, no idea. Nope.
No,
those could be. I think you said it a couple of shows ago, or maybe I heard it somewhere else. Those could be your standard. Your standard dynasty players that come up in your NFL franchise, five franchises or five seasons through, and they just came through the draft, and you just don't even know who they are.
Yeah, Paul Thorson's 2047 season.
Yes.
Oh man, Yeah, I was thinking like these, like similar. Like I was saying, these are guys I'm like recruiting to come to my college dynasty and like college football
Mhm.
26 right now. So like it's just like these are not real people, but they are, and they played well enough. Um, just I can't stress enough how the Bears had like 3 linebackers that I thought were, 2 that I thought were good, 1 that I was high on being a younger player, and all of them get hurt, plus their backup, and they're still winning games with this linebacking core that was people that were on practice squads up to like a month ago. So hats off to Dennis Allen again for scheming this defense, and also hats off to the Lions for not making them like really have to stop the run a ton. Because again, we're 2 weeks in a row where teams are just not running the ball against the Bears' battered and depleted defense. And I don't really understand why.
Nick, I mean, spot on. I was gonna say the same thing. Like, why when we have Saquon Barkley and an Eagles offensive line and the Bears front four is, I mean, not good, right? It's just not good. And our linebackers, we have a Bears podcast, and I'm not even familiar with, the names. Okay, just call that what it is. And then you're the Eagles, like, you know what? We have Saquon Barkley. This guy's pretty good. We'll give him the ball 13 times, and that's all she wrote. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And we'll have Jalen Hurts throw for 37. Okay. 37 times. That sounds like how we'll win. And that's why you put up 15 points. But hats off to the Bears. But also, like, what are you doing in Philly with that game plan? That's just absurd.
The conspiracy for running backs just further perpetuates for me in this. Like, Saquon has an all-time year last year, and then it's like, okay, well, we don't really want to showcase that again this year. Let's throw 40 times a game with Jalen Hurts. That sounds like a winning recipe. No. No. I as much as you guys want to not shit on, but like kind of poo-poo our defensive line, I still think Grady Jarrett, Gervin Dexter in the middle are serviceable guys that plug up holes and it hard to run on. Extremely. Montez is all right. I don't know who plays on the opposite side of the ball of Montez, but that's a serviceable defensive line. Nothing that you should be afraid of for any NFL teams. But at the same time, you look at that and you look at where you could get beaten. It's the middle of the field. Why your play structure isn't towards that, I don't know. But that just further speaks to Philadelphia's inadequacies for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. We'll talk about this more on Thursday, I'm sure, but you are not going to see that issue against Matt LaFleur or Josh Jacobs, the Packers on Sunday. I have a feeling that the Packers are going to run the ball thoroughly against this Bears defense, especially if the linebackers are still out, which we know for a fact Tremaine Edmonds will be out. TJ Edwards, again, don't know why he didn't go on IR. He's played in 1 game this season. Would like to see him back. Don't know when that's going to happen. But either way, I don't think you're going to be as fortunate this week, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, I just want to talk about a couple other quick things on the defense. So we just talked about the defensive line, 0 sacks again. Jay, you just mentioned Jalen Hurts dropped back 37 times, 0 sacks on those. So that stinks. You don't like to see that. But if not having a pass rush means that they can only give up 87 yards on the ground, I'll take that. I do think that the 87 yards on the ground has a lot more to do with the Eagles play calling issues than it does the Bears prowess on defense, but I'll take 87 yards on the running game against the Saquon Barkley led rushing attack all day. Let's see what else we want to say. Oh, really buried the lead here. It's crazy. This would have been probably one of the top things we talked about a while ago, but we haven't even got to it now. Kyler and Jalen are back. They both came back in this game. Crazy that I didn't get to that till just now, but it's true. They played. And it looked like they had some energy and some kind of like this, like they clearly were rearing to get back out there, and it looked like it. Like you could tell just the way they played, like they just brought the energy to the defense they played. So that was good to see. Get a little bit healthier, get those linebackers healthy with that, starting defensive backfield. You got yourself maybe a decent defense. So it's exciting to see.
And I put this at the top because I hope this isn't a theme, but the health factor of this defense is probably going to be a theme for the remainder of the year and maybe into the playoffs of if all of these guys could be healthy, what can this defense really truly be? Because there are so many pieces into it that seem like they show up at different times. Sometimes it's the secondary in takeaways. Sometimes it's the defensive line and Montez showing up and getting a couple of sacks a game. Sometimes it's the linebackers in Tremaine Edmonds having takeaways and affecting a game in multiple tackles and tackles for losses. None of those components seemingly have been healthy all at the same time. So if this defense could get fully healthy with Dennis Allen behind it and the other components of coaches, like what could it be? Because it's so encouraging already right now. Could it be a higher potential?
Yeah, that's a good point. On the Jalen Johnson and Kyler kind of thing, looking at just snap count percentages too. Brisker got 100% of the snaps. Gardner Johnson got 100% of the snaps. Nashawn Wright got 100% of the snaps. Byard got 100% of the snaps. Okay, and that's with Kyler and Jalen coming back, and it was kind of interesting to see that. Right. I mean, like Nashawn is playing and Gardner Johnson is playing, and they were the ones that were kind of starting in the core kind of package. Now, Jalen and Kyler both got between 60 and 66% of the snaps as well. But I thought that was kind of cool. It's like, hey, we're working and playing with the guys that are playing ball, and Nashawn Wright deserves to be out on that field. But they all do. And it's just a nice embarrassment of riches to have. And I'll say this too, you didn't miss a beat without having Tyreek Stevenson on the field either, right? That's just a lot of depth.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're right. But yeah, I also think it's a good thing that you've kind of got this luxury afforded to you where you can ease back your Kyler Gordons, your Jalen Johnsons, because of how well everybody's played. If these guys had been getting torched every game and not doing anything positive, you see Kyler Gordon, you see Jalen Johnson back. They're back to 100% of the snaps. But with the success that the outside guys have been having, CJ Gardner Johnson, Nashawn Wright, with the success they've been having, you can afford to kind of be like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put you guys in on like key third downs. We're not gonna put you guys in and play. We don't want to overstress your injuries. We don't want to higher chance of re-injury. So we're 60% snap share. We're not going to ramp you up. We're going to get you to 100% by the the end of the season, the playoffs, whatever. Which is definitely a luxury that this Bears team has because of how well their reserves have been playing. So I think that's definitely worth talking about as well.
For sure, agreed.
Yeah.
So another good one. Speaking of injuries, no major injuries happened in this game.
Finally.
So that's good. That's
Nice
good.
change.
Nothing really to write home about there. So again, Bears have a mini bye this week, playing on a Friday game. They got the whole weekend plus the whole week before their game on Sunday against the Packers. Hoping that we can get some linebackers back for this game. Really get a chance to really rest up and hopefully be more healthy on Sunday. So that's exciting. And it wouldn't be a Bears preview show or a Bears review show without talking about the remaining schedule. Bears still have a very difficult schedule down the stretch. Starting this week, we have Green Bay, and then what's the Browns after their Green Bay game? Is that right? Does it go Packers, Packers, Browns, Packers, and then 49ers and Lions. So even that Browns game, like the Browns are not a good team, but that defense is very good. So it's not like you're playing the Giants or the Joe Burrow-less Bengals or anything like that. Like you're playing, it's going to be a physical game. The Bears should win, but those are going to be some tough games. We'll talk obviously more about the game at Lambeau on Sunday coming up, but just very scary stuff with that. Looking at that schedule coming up.
Yeah. Hey, we got through the first test. We made it. We made it past the first test though, and one win at a time. Like all the good coaches and everyone says is go 1-0, take care of business. Packers this week. Let's rock and roll.
Yep. Amen. All right. So we're going to go ahead and grade out this Bears game now. We're going to do typical standard stuff, offense, defense, overall. Jay, why don't we start with you? What are your grades?
Cool. It's hard not to give the Bears, an A or at least an A- on the offensive side of the ball this week with the running game, but I am going to actually give them a B+. And the reason why is they dominated the time of possession. It was like almost 40 minutes to 20 minutes, and that's a number that it's hard to see that often in that ratio. So, I mean, obviously in the plus category, there really wasn't that much stress throughout the game. The way that the offense was just chunking yards, but it didn't translate into points, right?
Yeah.
You stalled out of that 24. And if a field goal goes in, you have a one possession game at the end of the game with an onside kick, and you're kind of still, we've said it a lot. It seems like that was a game that they should have been up by 17 points, like you said, and that's how it felt. So I like that. We mentioned Caleb's kind of the passing game wasn't really on par. So I'm going to be a little bit harder on them and give them a B+. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to give them I'm going to give them a solid A. They held the defending Super Bowl champions to 15 points, forced a couple of turnovers, no sacks, but that's okay. I mean, they held Saquon to under 100 yards rushing, under 60 yards rushing, really. So I was very impressed by the defense, the other intangibles, special teams, all that good stuff. So at the end of the day, I'm going to grade them out at an A-. It was a big win. There's plenty that they could kind of clean up, specifically on the offensive passing side of the ball. But I mean, let's bask in the win a little bit here. A big road win against the defending Super Bowl champs. A-.
All right on. Drew, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little more basic than Jay. I love your analysis, Jay. I just am it's getting harder and harder to be hypercritical of this team that is having success, and say that I want to see some things more than winning games and winning them assertively against better teams, which we definitely got here. So offense for me, yes, the passing game wasn't there, but for me, if you can balance and dominate a game on offense the way that you did in one facet, it's an A for me. So standard A. Defense, I'm very encouraged by the takeaways. I'm very discouraged by the fact that you can give up points seemingly at any time in some of the secondary if you're not taking the ball away. But at the same time, it didn't create major problems for us. So again, another A. And ultimately that leads me to just an A game. An A because of the fact that we beat a team that won the Super Bowl last year. Scariest game of the season so far, for sure, like Nick has been saying. And you won the game handedly. Maybe you didn't beat the doors off of them, but it felt like that. It definitely felt like that. So I'm giving them a solid A for the Chicago Bears this week.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's fair. In my grades, I'm gonna give the Bears offense an A as well. Obviously, the passing game left a little to be desired, but I do think going into this game, the game plan, I mean, you could tell, look at the box score, watching the game, whatever you want to do. The game plan here was run the ball down their throats, and they did that to an unbelievable level. The only thing holding this from an A+ is the fact that the passing game did struggle when called upon. But I think that this game plan specifically called for the run game, and I think they delivered exactly what they wanted. You don't average 6 yards a carry from your running backs, on less than A performances. So I'm going to say A on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, I mean, excuse me, the defense, causing the turnovers, that'll always, getting turnovers is always big. This defense is making, turning a thing you can't rely on to something you can rely on, which is crazy, but it's awesome. And giving up 2 touchdowns to AJ Brown, it's not what you want to see, but I do think that when you get Jalen Johnson back to 100% completely, like seeing 100% of snaps, you can kind of put him on the other team's best receiver, and you won't see stuff like that happen so much. So I'm going to give the Bears defense, I'm going to give them a B+ for this game, just because AJ Brown did kind of torch them. The turnovers were good, but either way, I'm going to say A- overall for the game, which means that there's still room to get better. And they just went to the Super Bowl champs house and kind of, do whatever they wanted. So, anyway, so that's exciting. Bears, there is room to grow, but again, big win for the Bears. We've been craving it. We've been kind of scared, kind of excited about this stretch, and off to a great start. So, Jason, let's go around the league, shall we?
Let's do that. One last thing that I just wanted to throw out there too on the Bears and the Eagles. I think the only person happier in the building after the Bears win than Ben Johnson and the coaching staff and the team was AJ Brown. He got his 10 receptions, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a loss. And you know that he's just a happy man when he gets fed, regardless of whether his team wins or loses. So probably won't be having any demands for a trade after the loss, but kind of an AJ Brown jab. But but let's go around the league. Oddly enough, on this cloud 9, the Bears, number 1 seed in the NFC, the entire conference. It's awesome. We are happy as hell. But we, there's still a little trouble in paradise around the league because all these teams in the NFC keep on winning. The Packers, the day before the Bears played on Thanksgiving, started off Thanksgiving with a bang, and they kind of throttled the Lions. So it makes this game coming up and the show that we're going to have on Thursday, I can't wait for that show already. I can't wait to break down the Packers game. We'll kind of save our analysis for that time. But the Packers looked very good. Their defense was feasting on Thanksgiving. And specifically, a gentleman named Micah Parsons 8 with 2.5 sacks that game. And they looked really, really good. And that defense looked really, really good. Green Bay with the win moves to 8-3-1, second in the NFC North. The Lions slipped to 7-5, and now the Lions are still the odd man out in the NFC playoff picture, and that's intimidating, right? I mean, the Lions are a good football team, and there's still 5 games left to play. We kind of touched on this before the show when we were huddling up. The Bears win. The Packers win, the 49ers win, all these teams in the NFC keep on winning, and somehow the Bears win, playoff probabilities remains at that like 70-75% range. So is that fair? Is that fair, Foul? Or are you guys are we still like, oh man, there's still a path where this could crumble a little bit, or are we staying optimistic and we're in the playoffs?
You gotta stay the course. You got to stay positive. After that last game against Philadelphia, it shows you what the Bears can do against current playoff teams. Yes, we're going back into the division. We haven't played a divisional game since, I discount JJ McCarthy games, period. But haven't played a real divisional game since week 2 against Detroit. So it does give you a little concern. Yes, you're going to Green Bay, and yes, you're playing what we would say our bitter rival. But I think through 13 weeks of the season, this coaching staff and this team has they've had their trials and they've had their tribulations, and they're ready for this. So yeah. I think it's very unfair to say that the Bears are that discounted at a playoff offer. And if you can find it somewhere where you can get good odds, bet the Bears right now.
Yeah. Nick, what do you think? Do you think it takes 2 wins for the Bears to get in the playoffs, get to 11 wins and you're in, win 2 or 3?
I think 3 definitely gets in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think 12 wins for sure gets in the playoffs. 11, I think 11 is going to kind of depend on how these next 3 division games go, because there's going to be some tiebreakers and stuff like that. Honestly, I don't even know what the tiebreaker was to give the Bears the number 1 seed right now over the Rams, but I was a little surprised to see that they had it. So that's good. But, I do think if you get to 11 wins, you're going to, those wins are going to have to be at least 2, both of them would have to be either against both the Packers or, one against the Lions, one against the Packers, because you're going to need division wins to get any tiebreakers.
Yeah. I think conference record record in conferences is tiebreaker for like the 1 seed, but I think it's division games for interdivision.
Yeah.
So these division games, I mean, we got 3 of them left, so let's do it. I'm going to stick around this Green Bay Lions game because that really was an eventful and big win for Green Bay. Big picture, it was a statement win. They did sweep the series against Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown went down, and that could come up pretty big. That Detroit team, all in all, is very banged up, very injured on both sides of the ball. So hopefully there's a path where that can kind of remain, not to wish, ill upon individual players, but we want the playoffs. So we want to scratch and claw to get in. Drew, you wrote this down too. This is Toyotathon for Jordan Love. We'll touch more about that on Thursday, but like it is when you look at his stats, I don't have them right in front of me, but I know our buddy and fellow Packer fan, Jeff Shawnee Balin, posted those stats on one of our group chats, and they are pretty intimidating. And we got 2 games against Toyotathon Jordan Love coming up. So that'll be interesting to see too. But anything else you wanted to guys throw out against the Lions and the Packers on Thanksgiving?
It's just 2 teams you knew that you were going to be competing with if you were going to compete in the North this year. Not anything that is scarier than most. Just put your hard hat on, lunch pail, go to work. Let's go. It's time.
Yeah. All right. Well, Drew, you threw out some funny words at JJ McCarthy, not counting that again. What are your thoughts on Max Brosmer's performance? Max Brosmer against Seattle put an all-time thud. I mean, one of the worst games I've ever seen.
I was watching that game just mostly because I had serious money on JSN to catch a lot of passes, and that was one of the biggest letdowns of the week. But I don't know what we're thinking about giving this kid a shot, because he looked like a junior varsity quarterback playing in a college game, junior varsity high school quarterback playing in a college game. And it was just terrible. What I pulled up, I had DraftKings Twitter on there. His stat line has only happened one other time, and that was a 1950s quarterback. I don't know if this is true, but it's hilarious if it is. That Tommy Thompson in the 1950s was the only other quarterback to have 126 passing yards, 0 TDs, and 4 interceptions. And Tommy Thompson was blind in one eye after World War II. And that's
so shady what they posted. Tommy Thompson was blind in one eye and stepped away from the NFL to serve for 2 years during World War II. What's your excuse, Max?
Thank you for your service, Tommy.
Yeah,
absolutely brutal.
I mean, you have to wonder. So this kid was a Golden Gopher, is a Minnesota Golden Gopher, and obviously got a shot on probably their practice squad to just do nothing, and obviously was not prepared to start an NFL game. But does this put Kevin O'Connell on the hot seat?
Oh, well, probably not. Right. I mean, but he should be criticized for the amount of hubris that it takes to let go of Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, and both of them to put up like phenomenal seasons immediately and be like, yeah, I'm good enough where JJ McCarthy is going to be great. And then 9 is terrible. Max Brosmer, who they drafted and liked enough to, or maybe he was an undrafted. He's on the team.
He was undrafted.
Yeah.
Don't forget about bringing Carson Wentz in.
No, yeah, good point.
That was, I don't think he's on the hot seat so much because I think he is very much on the hot seat. Apologies, because I think the GM, who probably ultimately made the decision on Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, all that stuff, I think he's going to fire him to kind of take the heat off himself.
Cover your ass.
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean,
I don't know what this. You said you could do this for me with JJ McCarthy. You wanted him, and okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the power structure is in Minnesota, but if the GM is the one that made that call, then I mean, he's on the hot seat in my opinion. Like that decision alone, you watch Sam Darnold, yeah, he's had some bad games, but he's still a very good quarterback compared to, JJ McCarthy or Max Brosmer. So they'd be a playoff contender, probably. Maybe not. They were pretty bad today or yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, just to throw more, dirt on the grave of the Vikings season this year. I was, having a cup of coffee yesterday or maybe today, I forget, but I love to go to profootballrumors.com. It's a fun site like MLB Trade Rumors, Pro Football Rumors. And one of the articles posted there was Vikings to consider a QB competition for JJ McCarthy next year. I was like, you think? That's probably a good idea for a lot of people to have a job that are on that coaching staff. So,
but it's also questionable that JJ McCarthy has a concussion. Like that, that's the other thing is there was no signs of him even getting hit in that previous game, but yet he's got a concussion. Are you just calling that brain problems? Maybe.
Yeah. God. Well, you got to be licking your chops if you're any team with the Vikings still on the schedule, because that looks like it's going to be a free win. I can't imagine them doing anything with the rest of their season. But yeah, I mean, it's just fun to see two quarterbacks. One is the monster of Toyotathon himself in Jordan Love. We'll see him a couple of times. Max Brosmer seems to be like he'll be selling Toyotas after this season. So we'll see how that goes for Max. But let's move around. Yeah. Let's move around to some other storylines in the NFL too. The big one that helped vault the Bears into the current #1 overall seed in the NFC was the Panthers. The 7-6 Panthers, I believe, now shocked the Rams. They were home against the Rams, but still, I mean, this was a Rams team that everyone was saying, including us, was the best team in the NFL. And the Panthers offense was just clicking on all cylinders. Matthew Stafford did something that he hasn't done in a long time, and he threw not only one but two interceptions. One of them was a pick six, and that just kind of was out of nowhere. I think the line was +10. In Drew or Nick, one of you picked them for the dog of the week too. So hats off to you there.
Yeah, wasn't me.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even know what to say about this other than the talk should kind of be: are there ways to beat the Rams? Apparently, yes. I mean, this Panthers team is 7-6 and above 500, but I can't imagine anyone actually takes that football team terribly seriously. Correct? Or am I off on that one?
I mean, we were talking about this a little bit pre-show, but the Panthers are the most maddening team to bet on or against or anything in the NFL. They'll win a game against the Rams. Earlier this season, they went to New England and lost like 42-0 or whatever. They beat the Falcons by a lot, and then I think they lost a game to the Saints a month ago. Like they just don't make any sense. I don't get this team. I don't think the Panthers are really. I mean, good for them because they've been absolutely terrible the last 4 or 5 years, maybe more, and they're not the worst team in the league this year, which is definitely good. But I mean, this is more like I think the Rams just the West to East thing definitely had a part of this. Probably overlooked the Rams or the Panthers a little bit. I don't know who the Rams play next week, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a Seahawks or someone like that, where they actually have to kind of get up for the game. And they just overlooked them with your classic look ahead game.
Yeah. I think it is the Seahawks next week.
Cardinals for the Rams. Oh, actually it's the Cardinals. So it was not a look ahead game. It was just I don't know, caught them napping on Thanksgiving week game, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. That's all. This is a blip on the radar for the Rams is really all I'm taking away from it. I still think the Rams are one of the better teams in the NFL, if not the best team in the NFL, especially at home, which they weren't in this game. So shocking. I sent a text at the beginning of the game, like if the Panthers win this game, Bears are the 1 seed, not expecting it to ever happen. And then just kind of was monitoring it. It just kept happening. It was crazy.
It was. Drew, I mean, any thoughts on that, or is this scaring you if you're a Rams fan, or is this, like Nick said, a blip in the radar?
No, I mean, they have the Cardinals, Lions, Seahawks, Falcons, Cardinals. I mean, they're going to be in the playoffs 100%. The thing that scares me is if I'm a Rams fan, is playing in SoFi is seemingly a big thing for Matthew Stafford. So you got to get that first place. Because of just what happened this past weekend. So win the next 4, and you look like you could have that again.
Yeah. Stafford before the week was the, pretty heavy favorite to be the MVP. After tonight's game with Drake May going all Drake May's jockeyed and taken over that favorite spot, minus 125. I think Stafford's plus 130. Seems like a 2-dog race. You had a gun to your head. Who are you taking right now with the odds being considered?
It's crazy to think second-year quarterback in Caleb's draft class, we're going to take Drake May, but I am. I mean, I saw him throw some balls tonight. I haven't seen a lot of his tape, but I saw him throw some balls tonight that kid can just spin it. He's got it, and it seems like New England has a good system around it to where it's going to provide him that success. And if they go 13-4, 14-3, he's going to have a lot of stats behind him to promote that. And that's sad. I don't want to see New England have more success, but I think there's something behind that betting favorite right now.
All right. That's a fair take. Nick, are you zigging zagging, sticking along?
So I have a future on Stafford, full disclosure, but I do think I would probably take Stafford just because I actually don't know what the Patriots schedule is. Now I think about it. They've had a pretty easy schedule at this point. Maybe they'll continue. I think they have a Ravens game coming up. Their schedule gets a little bit tougher. We just talked about the Rams. Their schedule is pretty favorable the rest of the way. One thing I'll say, and again, this is not take off your Bears podcast hat for a second and just talk about neutral betting favorite stuff for a second. This sucks, and I don't want to say it. But, again, neutral gambling advice. You can get Jordan Love at plus 1,900 right now. I think that might be a little bit, that might be a future worth looking into if you're a neutral person. I won't be taking that, but I think there's some value there. That's all I'm trying to say.
Playoffs don't count for MVP. He's not going to do anything to round it out.
Yeah, but, I mean, you get the best record, and then you're automatically that's the award, right? You get best
sure.
The quarterback on the best team traditionally gets that.
Just saying there's some value there. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Fair enough. All right. Well, let's rewind the clock. We'll go back to Thursday, run up the last of those other 2 Thanksgiving games. Cowboys, Chiefs. In fact, I'll even stop myself right there. I believe on our last show, we were talking about how much we hated the dogs of the week slate. And Thanksgiving gave us a big old middle finger because all of the dogs not only covered, but won the damn game straight up as well. And the Cowboys weren't ready to call it a season. They beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving 31-28. That was probably the game I missed the most of because that was while I was eating dinner and cooking and all that good stuff. But lo and behold, I looked up and my Chiefs money line was burnt to ash. Surprising anyone? I mean, this makes it a really, really difficult path for the Chiefs to get in the playoffs, sitting at 6-6 right now. Drew, what do you think? They got a shot, or are you calling them done?
I don't know. I was looking at a lot of things in the AFC. I don't know why. It was mostly after Thanksgiving with seeing how Joe Burrow could make it into the playoffs because I want to see that team make the playoffs. That'd be a great storyline. But I do think they're done. That's a tough division right now with the Broncos winning. Yes, the Chargers did win and Herbert went out. There's just not a lot of paths to success for the Chiefs. I don't think it's necessarily them done for the longevity. Patrick Mahomes is always going to be the NFL's darling, but I think it's over for this season. There's just not a good path for it. I do want a quick story time of this game, and I didn't tell you guys about it because I wanted to be chastised about it on the pod. Jenny and I were having Thanksgiving by ourselves. Obviously, with Nathan, we wanted to kind of quarantine and make sure no one was coming by. It's sixth season, all of that stuff. I had a pretty sizable bet on a same game parlay on this game, and I decided to take a nap after I'd cooked everything. Woke up, 5 minutes left to go. This bet is now a $650 cash out on a $100 to win $2,700. And I was like, you know what? I've lost a little bit. I'm going to cash out. Cashed out. And subsequently, in the next 4 plays, this bet hit.
No, that's a tale as old as time.
Oh my God. That's worse than losing. It was worse than losing because I've thought about it every single day since. And someone chastised me. I've had it in several different groups. Like, you never cash out. Never cash out.
Yeah,
barely qualified listeners, never cash out a bet because you're just going to take a hit.
Oh man. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in you. I'll be honest with you. But hopefully you've learned your lesson. You can't ever do that again.
100%. Or just nap for 5 minutes more.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That blows. That does blow. I'm sorry. But hey, at least you didn't lose, right? You didn't lose. You still It was still a good bet, and you made some profit from it. So I'll give you that.
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah. My brother-in-law had a similar situation where by the end of this game we're talking about, all he needed was a Jamar Chase touchdown to hit to win like $1,800 on like a $50 bet or whatever. And I left his house before that Bengals game ended, and I was thinking like he's gonna make a pretty good, pretty penny on this game, and Jamar Chase did not score.
And of course
he did not cash out, but yeah.
With Burrow back, it's like, all right, that's the one that should hit, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Chiefs, the season's on the line. They basically got to win the rest of their games to have a shot. I mean, it's wild card only for them, right? And the wild card teams, you got the Jags 8-4, Colts 8-4. That's not even true. The Jags are winning the AFC South, I believe. Bills 8-4. Colts 8-4, Chargers 8-4. That's going to be tough to make up those games, especially with losses to the Bills already on the season. But the Cowboys, maybe they're still alive. Maybe the Eagles collapse happens and the Cowboys can kind of Lazarus themselves back into a playoff hunt. Who knows? That'll be fun though. It's nice to see that.
Cowboys have the Lions this weekend, and if the Cowboys win this game, I do think they have a little bit of juice maybe to get there by the end of the season. If they don't, they're probably not going to make the playoffs. But obviously, selfishly, I will be rooting very hard for the Cowboys this week to beat the Lions. But I do think they have a shot at getting back. I mean, we've seen this movie with the Eagles before, where they, just something about the chemistry in the locker room just like falls apart, and they just start losing games. So I wouldn't say that that's impossible. And the Cowboys have been better on defense, and their offense has never really gone away. So I think the Cowboys have a shot. Outside shot.
This is a perfect, also not segueing. I'm telling you guys, so don't pick it because I am taking it. My overs of the week have been so poor, but I am taking the over of the week of whatever Detroit and Dallas is. So that's it. Done. I need to change some things. That's it. Right there. Boom. Done.
I dig it. When you need an over to hit, go to the Lions and the Cowboys game. That's a good recipe there.
Tails all the time.
Yeah, hopefully it's not like 59, but who cares? Do it.
Honestly, even if it is, I'll fucking write it with you.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Can't put a number on that I won't be. That I'm like,
yeah, you know what's one other thing too? The Lions. It's the Cowboys on Thursday night, and then the week after that, it's at the Rams in SoFi. So, Bears fan, you're big Cowboys and Rams fan the next couple of weeks.
I totally forgot about this. Sorry, I'm digressing. It is the Thursday night game, and that's when we're going to be doing the podcast. I'm taking it right now.
Done.
Nah, shit, I can't do that.
Why not?
Hey, if anyone's listening, special insider, we're taking the 53 right now, 53 and a half. It's minus 120 right now.
Yeah, just take it.
I can't because we're not going to be able to bet, you're not going to be able to parlay it.
That's true.
I was just
All
gonna say
right.
we're not talking about the Lions right now, but I do want to say I think it's stupid that the Lions have a higher playoff percentage than the Bears do right now. Not even the Lions have 2 less losses than the Bears. Their schedule is not easy down the stretch. They have the Cowboys on Thursday, they go to the Rams, they still have the Steelers, and they still have the division leading number 1 team in the NFC, the Chicago Bears. Like, I mean, selfishly, if you take yourself out of being a Bears fan, like you're going against a number, like, yeah, you handled them at home, but you want Jared Goff to go outside in Chicago in
Yeah.
January in this game, and you're going to call that an easy game for the, like, I don't understand how the Lions have a higher playoff percentage than the Bears do. I'm not going to get too mad about it because it's just a bunch of nerds crunching numbers in their, on their computers, but it is frustrating. I don't understand how it works.
Yeah, it's always the nerds that we have to rise up and hate on, and that's fair. That's why they're nerds.
Nerds.
So I'm with you there. And that's a great call out too, because that last game of the season is in Chicago. Jared Goff sucks outside. I mean, sucks outside. So, good call there. Good call there. All right, let's round out around the league too. We'll go back to that last Thanksgiving game Thursday night. Joe Cool was back, and he did his thing against the Ravens and the Bengals again. I mean, they beat the Ravens, putting the Ravens in that whole AFC North. That preseason was like, this is going to be a hell of a division, and that's sloppy. That's just a sloppy poo record. But I mean, that's also whoever's coming out of there. If that team is healthy and is winning, whether it's the Ravens, I think we can write the Steelers off. Arthur Smith has completely sabotaged that entire offense, along with Aaron Rodgers. And obviously the Browns are going to Brown. But I mean, if there's a way, and again, this is stupid, but if there's a way that the Bengals can run the table, and maybe there is a shot that a 9-8 team from the North gets in. I don't know, but that was a big win. Maybe not a big win, a big loss for the Ravens, I would say. So Nick, I don't know. Walk me through your takeaway from that game.
This was the most shocking of the underdog wins this week. Well, maybe the Panthers Rams is pretty shocking, but this was the most shocking of like the Thanksgiving, Black Friday, like pre-weekend games for sure. I never even considered this being a win for the Bengals, even with Joe Burrow back. Never for even a second thought that this was going to happen. And if it was going to happen, it was going to be like a 45-42 shootout.
Yeah.
I did not anticipate the Ravens offense looking like the Bears last year. It was awful to watch. I mean, we had every play was a fumble in some way, interceptions thrown, like whatever the case may be. It was just awful. Like, it was awful offense. And it looked like the Ravens just showed up. They thought they were going to show up and win this game. And the Bengals were like, yeah, we're going to play football. You're not just going to show up here and win. And then they lost, because that's what happens when you overlook teams. So I was shocked. I had, my uncle's league, which is kind of the inspiration for our fantasy pick'em segment, where you pick a player, then you can't use them again. I needed a lot of points this week to make the playoffs. I put Lamar and Zay Flowers in my lineup, and just duds. Obviously just absolute duds. And I couldn't have been more wrong about this game.
Well, it's shocking too. I think there were 5 turnovers that the Ravens committed in that game against, and we've been talking about it all season long. That Bengals defense is historically bad.
I think the Bengals defense had 10 takeaways all season coming to this game, and they got 5 in this game. It's insane.
Yep. Drew, I know you were hitting on this earlier. You were talking about, hey man, like I want to see the Bengals in that playoff hunt picture. Is that worth talking about? I mean, the Ravens' schedule's not easy.
There's a path. They're 2 games out right now. Both teams in the North are 6-6,
and they have a game against each other too.
They play each other twice.
Right.
So the Bengals don't have the easiest remaining schedule, but having Joe Burrow back, well, no, they actually semi do. You've got the Bills and the Ravens. You play the Ravens once, then you have the Dolphins, Cardinals, and Browns. So take care of what needs to take care of. You win 4 out of 5 of those games, and you put yourself right back into it. So a 500 record seemingly gets into these tough divisions in the playoffs. They could be a 4 seed before you know it if they run the table. They could be there.
And I think the Bengals are in a very similar spot to the Cowboys right now, with the added bonus that they do have the Ravens one more time on their schedule.
Correct.
The Eagles and Cowboys are done playing for the year, so that's not. But the Bengals are 2 games out with a game against the Ravens on their schedule. If they can beat the Bills this weekend, I think there's a better than probably like a getting close to 20-25% chance that they can do it. So we'll see. But this Bills game is very important for them.
And the Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, Pats, Green Bay, Steelers.
Yeah.
Like that's
a lot.
I mean, I know we're not talking about the Steelers' strength of schedule or whatever they're doing, but I can't trust that team after what I saw this weekend. And Aaron Rodgers just hate you. So,
But hey, that game is going to be at the Steelers. Anything is possible there. So like I'm hoping that the Bengals. I want to see Joe Burrow in the playoffs. I'll just say that. I think that is more electric to me than seeing the Ravens in the playoffs, and it's just I just gravitate towards Burrow there. But we'll chase down the rest of these teams. One that kind of stood out was the Texans beating in Indianapolis. Huge win for them. The talk around the NFL a lot on this game was the officiating there was something a little bit fishy. I don't know if you guys caught any of that during red zone or anything like that, but a couple of, phantom pass interference calls down the stretch, extra point that looked like it was clearly missed that they called good and they just decided not to review it. The announcers, right. It's fine. The announcers were scratching their head a couple of times. So the fix might've been in, and thankfully it was, because I had the Texans +3 in that game, and I was like, all right, well, this is weird, but I guess I'm on the right side. I've been on the wrong side of it, where it's been a rigged game and bye money. It's nice to be on the rigged side of things for once. But yeah, CJ Stroud was back. CJ Stroud looked okay, fine. What did look elite still, though, was that Texans defense is just really something to admire as a football fan. It's very, very much real. And I believe Drew wrote this down. Is Danny Dimes pumpkining, or is he, I guess the question that's written down is playing injured the best thing for the Colts right now? Nick, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Daniel Jones has been playing with a fractured fibula, which is the smaller of the 2 leg bones that you have, which seems hard to believe that a quarterback that's like mobile can play with a broken leg bone. Again, it's smaller of the 2 leg bones, but it's still pretty surprising that someone's playing with a broken leg. I actually don't know. Is Anthony Richardson their backup still? I imagine he probably is. If that's the case, then I think that probably is the best thing to do. To be fully honest with you.
Anything better than A-Rich.
I don't think that Danny Dimes' injury costed them this game. I think that you just ran to a really, really good Houston defense, who is, again, like they're incredible. They're an elite unit, probably the best defense in the league. You'd rather not have a quarterback with a broken leg, but you'd also rather not have Anthony Richardson. So I think, both can be true. I don't know.
Yeah. Drew, you were the originator of the question. What is your take on that? What do you think?
Something just screams that there's going to be something off in Indy. And if they're going to point a finger at anything, it's going to be Danny Dimes being injured. And I do think there needs to be some stability there, and it's not Daniel Jones. So they need Jonathan Taylor can run the ball enough down the middle or run the ball enough down the sides, but I don't know if an injured Daniel Jones is the best thing for that team.
Yeah, I mean, you could even kind of peel one, layer of the onion deeper. Is a healthy Daniel Jones the answer for the team? It has been so far, but I will say this: I am a Daniel Jones truther. I just think the guy's bad. Granted, I had the same thought on Sam Darnold the entire year last year, and he's doing just fine in Seattle. So I could be wrong there, but I just don't believe. I don't believe what I'm seeing, and I think Pumpkin Watch is officially in play for Danny. He'll probably win the Super Bowl with me saying that, but I just don't believe in the guy. So But we'll round out the rest of the leagues. The 49ers defeated the Browns, and that was a big game for the Bears fans to watch out for too, because they're at, what are they, 9-3, 9-4. Let me pulls up notes. They are 9-4, right? So that's in that crowded NFC wildcard NFC West division. We want as many of those losses. Bears are going to travel out to San Francisco. That's going to be a big game. Add it to the list, add it to the tab. Any one of those NFC teams losing, that was what we're really rooting for down the stretch. Didn't get it. Many teams wouldn't have had the exact same outcome because they played the Browns and Shedeur Sanders was leading the helm. Had a couple of Shedeur Sanders type moments where it's like, hey, I'm in field goal range, and now we're not because I took an 18-yard sack. So, hey, at least the Bears get to play the Browns. Hopefully, Shedeur is still manning the helm and improves the probability. Actually, it doesn't matter who's it's just the defense. Matter. It's just the defense. Get by the Browns defense. Jags beat the Titans, and who doesn't beat the Titans? But the Jags are somehow finding themselves at 8-4. That's got to be the worst 8-4 team in the league. Trevor Lawrence, I don't think we need to spend too much time on it, but like I just am not bought into the Trevor Lawrence train, even though he looked fantastic in this game. I'm going to chalk that up against the Titans. Any takeaways there? Any deviation from that take? Am I missing something?
Titans very bad.
Simple as that. Simple as that. The heartbreak kids for me this week was the Dolphins. And they won the game, and they won by 4. But I had them at -5.5, and I thought it was gonna hit until it didn't. But what are you gonna do? That's why you don't bet Dolphins Saints, you idiot. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the teams kind of went in the games, kind of went according to the predictability, right? Yeah. The Bills beat the Steelers handedly. The Jets did beat the Falcons though, and that was a fun game to watch. 2 really bad teams, but an eventful game that came down to the wire. Bucks beat the Cardinals. Chargers handled the Raiders. And the note there is Justin Herbert's headed for hand surgery. Just had it today, actually. So might be, I don't know, status for it's a non-throwing hand. It's his left hand. But, I mean, surgery, I don't know. We'll see how that shakes out. And then the Broncos keep on skating by. They beat the Commanders. I fell asleep during the game, but all my bets 0-6 in the last night. Woke up and they all had a shot. Like it was all one leg of a parlay. I needed like 7 more yards from RJ Harvey. I needed the a lot of things went wrong. You name it.
All RJ Harvey bets. Like why? Just I don't understand that. That was a horrible game script. Whatever Detroit or Denver had, but. It's still a fun game near the end.
Yeah.
Fuck them. So.
Yep. But anything else stand out to you guys? I didn't mean to round that up too quickly, but I think we hit on a lot of the good stuff there.
Yeah, just Justin Herbert. I believe the backup is Trey Lance, so that's a big problem if he can't play.
Yeah.
For the Chargers.
Yeah, Chiefs fans are.
But I do think they're getting Omari and Hampton back next week, so expect a lot of work, Omari, when you come back. So.
Drew, anything you want to throw out?
No, just another parity week in the NFL. So let's keep them coming and let's keep them running for the Bears.
Yeah. I'll leave us with this. I think before the season, I'm going to name off the division leaders right now. And it's just hilarious to me because it's the Patriots, the Ravens, predictable, although ailing.
Not the way we got here.
Yeah, right. Show your work. No, I won't. The Jaguars, the Broncos, Eagles, predictable. Bears, Bucks, probably predictable, and the Rams. I guess you could see that too. But there's a lot of. I would say 4 or 5 out of those teams. Like what?
Yeah,
crazy.
Yep,
crazy year.
Hey, I'm ready to pull up the barely qualified, way too early playoff predictions. I did
that earlier today.
We're ready to pull it up. We'll get into it in the next couple of weeks, but not as surprising as you would think in some things.
True.
Yeah.
So
I have the Broncos going to the Super Bowl, so no big deal.
Yeah.
But Drew, what do you say? Should we take it away to the podium list?
Let's get into the podium list. Let's round this out. Podium list this week is proudly fueled by the fizz of Glenrock Pop, Lake County's legendary soda revival, crafted in pure cane sugar, poured into classic glass bottles, and bursting with nostalgic flavor. Glenrock's more than just a drink, it's a hometown icon. Whether you're sipping on orange, cream soda, or Nick's personal favorite, the all-new lime, Glenrock is bringing the joy back to every corner of Lake County. Want to catch their pop-up trailer in action? Follow Glenrock Pop on Facebook for their for their latest event stops. Ready to stock up? Head to glenrockpop.com to find retailers near you. From tailgates to game days, Glenrock Pop is the ultimate sideline sip. Don't just drink, celebrate. All right, gentlemen, we've had a downpour of it around here. So we're going with this week's podium list. You know, do with it what you will, interpret it how you want to, but we're going snow activities. There's plenty of it on the ground right now. I don't care if it's a snow activity that you love or you hate. Give me your top snow activities. As usual, the podium list is going to go in your gold, silver, and bronze picks. This week we've got the order of 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1. It's going to be J, Nick, Drew, J, and Drew, J, Nick. So first off, Jay, give me your top snow activity, period. Kids,
Sweet.
Anything. What do you got?
Keep it simple. It's sledding. You're going sledding, especially with the kids now. Man, it's an absolute blast. I don't even think it needs an explanation, to be honest with you. It's a rush. It's beautiful. Get a little sweat. Get dressed up. Kids are having fun. Absolute blast. Absolute blast. So sledding for me, slam dunk.
Great pick.
Had to be.
Yeah.
Had to be. There was nothing else. You got a nearby mountain close to you, Jay?
So there's actually right in our neighborhood's a smaller one, and that's very good for like introduction to sledding when the kids are very, very young. You know, we're talking probably like 20 feet, and it might as well be Mount Everest when you're 2 years old. It's great. We've since graduated to the Lyle High School, has a big, sizable hill, and that's where we like to go now. It's phenomenal. It's always packed with kids of all ages, and you get some good speed. So those are our two that we typically go to, with the bigger one being the one now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Huge.
Yeah.
All right,
Great
Nick.
pick. Yeah, that's a great pick. That was pretty high on my list. My number one is actually still available. Don't know. I'm gonna kind of give it to you guys to see if it counts or not. But my number one pick is a snow day from school. Getting a snow day.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Nothing in the world beats the rush of like waking up in the morning, seeing 8 inches of snow on the ground. Back in our day, not to age ourselves, watching the news and seeing the little scroll on the bottom, see your school district show up. No school today. Jay, you and I actually got a snow day at Marquette when we were in college that one Friday, which was one of the better college days I ever had. It was a blast. Yep. We woke up, went to breakfast, went back to bed, took a nap, and then just did a bunch of fun. I think we played some football outside. We went to a Marquette basketball game that night. It was a great night.
It was.
So I'm taking snow days. It's the best. But this is exclusively when I was a kid or younger and had snow days. When my kids have snow days, it's actually one of the worst things in the world.
Yeah.
But when I had a snow day, it was the best.
Dude, that's great. That was a very good pick. I didn't have it on the list. I should have. That's electric.
Yeah. I mean, they made a movie about it, a Nickelodeon movie about it. Great one.
I don't recall.
If you guys have never seen Snow Day, you have
problems. No, I haven't seen it, man.
I'm not familiar.
Entourage's Emmanuel Chikri plays yeah. Come on.
Oh my.
Hey, get deep into your cinephiles. Good 2 picks. I love them both. I'm going a little the opposite side of things. You guys are going fun. I'm going semi not fun, but also an activity has to happen in our latter age. I'm going shuffle. has shoveled a lot recently. And shoveled my neighbor. Yes, you're both giving me the sour look. But there's something about shoveling that comes with the winter that I actually resonate with, in being like, you know what? I'm gonna put my headphones in. I'm gonna listen to some shit. I'm gonna get some shit done, and no one's gonna bother me.
I'm
No
telling you.
one's gonna get in my way, and I'm just gonna go plow the shit out of someone's driveway, my areas, all of that. I worked on like shoveling the backyard and getting the dogs a runaround spot. It was so peaceful for me. Like, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I had that up there, pretty high up there on my list for enjoy, but I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Especially you get the snowblower running. I got it in one pull this year. I was like, ooh, we're off to a good start here. We're off to a damn good start here. Got my gas mix going the day before. Got my salt. Very accomplished. Yeah. I snowblowed my driveway three separate times. I was like, oh, I gotta go do it.
Yep.
Dad's gonna go out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe crack a beer or two. We're going. Kelly, here you go.
And
Amen.
Also, I don't know, this isn't so much the past like 5-10 years, but like especially like when I was like not a teen, but like 18 to like 20, and I was 18, 23, whatever, and I was living at my parents' house still, and I would snowblow my parents' driveway for them. The post snowblow or shovel cigarette was one of the best cigarettes of the year. So got to throw that out there, because I would just
yeah.
You just sit in your garage with looking at your work, admiring your work, and you just ripping a cig and just feeling like a real blue collar guy. Yep, I did that. So great cigarette to have. But anyway, I don't hate the pick as much as I did when he first said it, just because all my muscles are still sore from shoveling all the past.
100%. Oh, 100%, Nick. Yes.
But yeah, it is satisfying.
Forward, but in the moment, it's
very satisfying. 100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got silver. So lead us off.
All right. So I am a lot of my picks kind of stem from childhood snow stuff more so than adulthood snow stuff. I'm going to take Snowball Fight. Classic. Ooh. Can't go wrong with the Snowball Fight. A lot of the snowball fights in my neighborhood growing up, because there's a big age gap between the kids, ended up with somebody in tears, but it was always fun for me being one of the older kids. I enjoyed it. I still love a good snowball fight. I like throwing anything. If I can throw something and it doesn't cause any, like just melts with the rest of it, I'm a big fan of it. So yeah, give me a snowball fight.
Gosh. Yeah. Nothing like just starting a snowball fight for no reason. Mm-hmm. Grabbing that slush ball and throw it in the back of somebody's back and just being like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get it going.
That's right. Glove slap,
Yeah, exactly.
It's a challenge. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Silver still up there for me. Could have been a gold, but haven't done it in a while. So I'm going to take skiing.
Yeah,
man.
Skiing's just got to be up there. When I can get the opportunity, I will ski. But there's also the component to skiing of shoving a, little Dr. McGillicuddy's in the suit, getting warm. Yeah, getting warm, going down the slopes, hitting a blue, hitting a green, and just going and having some fun in the cold. But skiing for me, for sure.
Absolutely. That is one thing that I have on the bucket list for this winter. There's a little I don't want to call it a bunny hill, but it is. It's a smaller hill, and like in Lyle, and I'm going to take the girls out skiing there, and I'm very excited for it because it is such a blast. And Daddy's going to have some Dr. McGillicuddy's in the shirt. You got to do it.
Yeah. We have this right over the border. There's like a little ski hill. I'm not gonna call it a mountain. Ski hill called Wilmot Mountain. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
Oh yeah.
If you guys, okay.
Oh yeah.
It's like I can get there in like 20 minutes from my house. So back in the day, we used to go there a lot. I snowboarded. I never really skied. Never really landed with me. But I did recently get rid of all my stuff because last time I went snowboarding, I fell. And I'm pretty sure I got a concussion. I just can't be doing that anymore in my life. So I'm done with snowboarding. But it was fun back in the day.
I never snowboarded. I only skied too much of a puss. I've heard there's a big ramp up period, but I probably will never snowboard. It's just two skis on the ground for me.
Yeah. If you haven't by now, I would
No, yeah,
recommend not doing it.
Yeah,
Our dexterity is only deteriorating. Please don't.
Best case scenario, you are sore as fuck. Best case scenario.
Yep. No, I'll take that advice. That's fair. That's more than fair. All right, I'm going to put my silver out there. This is a simple one, but I still love it to this day, and I do it in the backyard all the time with the girls. Just making snow angels. Go out there, low activity, a little hot chocolate afterwards, but get everyone bundled up, play in the snow, make some snow angels, see what marks you can make in the ground. So snow angels for me.
Yeah.
There's just something pristine about laying down in the snow and making a snow angel.
Mm-hmm.
Just peaceful. Peaceful.
It's classic. Love it.
All right. I'll get into bronze. There's a lot of speculation at this point about what's going to fly or not. Everything flies, boys.
Everything flies,
don't. It doesn't matter if there's a considerable question that you have in your mind. I'm gonna take making a snow fort.
Oh, good deal.
100%. I was going to take that.
Goes along the lines with Nick, sort of like the snow day. You make a snow fort, just something collection. It could be something small, have a snow fight in, or it could be all encapsulating where you're going to make it tunnelized or anything like that. Making a snow fort was awesome.
Yeah.
Tunnel that shit out, make it long, have fun in it. Snow forts are great.
That's the best. I was going to take it with my next pick. What we used to do, and I'm sure a lot of people do this, is nothing super unique, but like the corner of the driveway, right, where it's got all that snow built up from the plow coming by and where you're shoveling or snow blowing, you just dig some tunnels in there and you just got yourself a sweet little like hut fort thing.
Creates the barrier.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah. Probably very dangerous, but awesome.
Yeah, well, it was the 90s, so what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? No rules.
The goat for me was those rectangular recycling bins before they got all vertical, but they were squatty rectangles. You just pack those in, and that was bricks. Great. Yep, build the bricks. That was excellent, and that typically translated into a beautiful snowball fight too. So
they go hand in hand.
For sure. For sure.
Great. Yeah, that's a great pick.
It is a great pick, Drew. I had that one written down. Probably should have taken that ahead of Snow Angels, but I panicked and Snow Angels blurted out of my mouth. So
what do you got next, Jay?
Well, we're building stuff. We're building snow angels. We're building snow forts. I'm going to go to Frosty, building the snowman.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful
Glad
thing.
you took it.
Yep. That is a tradition unlike any other. It's a beautiful thing. So I don't think it needs too much explanation, but I can't remember a winter where there's been snow on the ground and I haven't made one. So it's still to this day a thing I love to do.
Yeah. I think that's a great pick. That's classic.
You know what? To get into it, Jay, I did watch with my wife before this show Hot Frosty. So
How
about
Jack Frost?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're all movies that shouldn't be watched, but we're gonna watch.
You got to do it.
It's the season.
Got to do it. All right. I am going to round this out. Literally, all the things I have written down have been taken.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty fair. I do have one that's not taken. It's probably not the most popular, but I think I love it. I'm going to take a nice snow football game. Like,
good call.
Back when we were kids. This is, again, I don't want to do this today.
Football podcast.
But when we were kids, playing some tackle football on top of like 6 inches of fresh snow is one of the best things in the world. You tackle, it doesn't really hurt as much. You kind of go sliding all over the place. Something about the winter and snow and football. Like I said, Jay, when we had that snow day at Marquette, we did a pretty intense game of snow football after that in that little courtyard we had next to our dorm.
Yep.
Absolute blast. We used to every year, my kids in my neighborhood and I, when there was like the first like significant snowfall, like that Saturday, you could catch us at the park at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'd be playing football like all day. It was the best. So snow football for sure.
You've had two that I did not have on my list that I wish I had, because that's a great one. Great pick. Great value pick too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you can couple that into a Thanksgiving, if you get Thanksgiving snow and have a turkey bowl with snow, bang.
Bang.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Beauty.
We had a turkey bowl probably like 10 years ago at my high school. We used to play on the high school field like everybody does. And guy tore his ACL for real. Yeah. So no more turkey bowl for me.
No.
Yeah.
We don't want to be that guy.
No more.
Don't do that.
That was the last time I showed up to that thing. So
yeah. Last time the guy who tore his ACL did too, probably.
Yeah. Yep.
You remember Steve? Steve never played football again.
Steve never walked again.
Yeah. All right. That'll round it out. So having fun with snow. Obviously, there's snow on the ground. Enjoy the activities while you can. Let's get into some closing thoughts for this week. Gonna kick it over to Jay first. Give me your closing thoughts this week.
Awesome. So kind of on the theme of snow days and kids out of school, and Nick, you saying that there's nothing better when you're a kid, nothing worse when you're a parent with a snow day. I had the first run in with the phantom sick day from my oldest from kindergarten. I got a call, numerous calls actually, from the nurse at about 1. I was on a work call, and I don't have the number saved in my phone, so I was like, I'm not picking that up. My wife, we were both working from home as we do on Mondays, and she was in the same boat, not picking up her phone. So calls went out to our emergency contacts from school. My parents started calling, and I was like, well, I better take this. I'm getting blown up here. And I didn't take it. So because Margaret got to it first, a call from my mom, then a call from the nurse. And Georgia had a sore throat, very bad sore throat at school. Very much pain, all that good stuff. So Margaret goes to pick up Georgia. This is about 2:00. And Georgia comes home, and she's just laughing and having fun. And like, what's going on? And she's like, my throat hurts, and I was like, does it really hurt? She's like, no. And so she had the get out of school. So I'm worried that that's going to become a theme with her. So I had to have that talk of like, you can't fake it. You can't fake it, because mommy, daddy got to stop doing what they're doing to get you. So, but it was kind of fun to see her kind of just trying to figure out the system a little bit. What can I get away with? And I think it's kind of fun, annoying as hell, but it's, I don't know.
And Georgia, pro tip out there: don't do it in the afternoon. Do it at like 9 in the morning. Get your day's worth.
Exactly. Do it before you go to school. Yep. Get mom and dad to take a full PTO day.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That is a great tip. I did not give her that tip, but if it's coming from Uncle Nick and Uncle Drew, I will allow it, and that is good advice. For my own sanity, I'm going to try to keep that one a little under wraps.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Nick, what are you closing us out with this week?
Yeah, I do have football thoughts, but it's not NFL, it's college. The talk of the college football world, Lane Kiffin going to LSU, will not be coaching Ole Miss in their probable college football playoff run. And I guess my closing thoughts are the same as anybody else that has a brain that watches sports, is that the college football schedule needs to be changed. This is insane that this happens. It all happens so that they can kind of align with the academic year, when nobody in the world looks at college football players as actual student athletes. They're getting paid millions of dollars sometimes. Just treat them as employees. You don't need to treat them like students. Put the schedule so it makes sense, so coaches don't leave during a playoff run, so players don't have to decide if they're transferring or not during a possible playoff run. It doesn't make any sense. It would be like if NFL free agency opened in the middle of January. It doesn't make any sense. So we have to get this fixed. Like, I'm not a huge college football guy. I don't have a team. Obviously, I went to Marquette, no college football team. But as a lover of sports, like, it's just, I don't understand how somebody can look at this and be like, yeah, this works. Like, this obviously is broken and needs to be fixed.
Yeah. I mean, well said, Nick. And, it couldn't happen to a better guy. Right? Of course, it's Lane.
But the thing is that, like, this is not a Lane Kiffin problem.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a system problem
Yep.
that he is going to get like vilified for it, especially by Ole Miss like fans and alums. But like Ole Miss just is straight up like it is a stepping stone job. It is what it is. Like I am a realist. Like I'm a Marquette basketball fan. Marquette basketball, I secretly root against Shaka sometimes because I'm afraid he'll leave us because the Marquette is also a stepping stone job. That's just some schools are stepping stone jobs, and Ole Miss is one of them. LSU is a premier job of the country. So he's going to leave. Just the timing is stupid because of the way the NCAA schedule is, and that's stupid. And that needs to be changed. That's all it is. So
It's perfectly said.
Well, I mean, you could blame LSU for it. They fired Brian Kelly into it. They need to look for their coach. They're going to poach him off of whoever's having success. Whoever's having success is going to ditch their program. So it's just, college is stupid. That's why I don't have a college team. And I feel like the organization that they have along the lines of all of it is dumb, especially now that we're paying players.
Right.
And paying coaches this astronomical sum. So,
yeah, it just all boils down to like still trying to make the appearance of student athletes. We're past that. We've been past that for 30 years. Don't need to do that anymore. The era of the student athlete is over. The era of like the minor leagues feeder system to the NFL is upon us. Like just treat it like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. I have a very simple closing thought for you fellas tonight. And it is not going to be long. It's not going to be debatable. Nathan Andrew Bailey is 3-0 as a Bears fan. And we're only going to continue that. And we're only going to continue that. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it riding. And that's going to do us all for the Barely Qualified podcast tonight. For Jason Maxwell and Nick Lavris, I'm Drew Bailey. Thanks for listening. And as always, guys, we will catch you.
Thank you for listening to the Barely Qualified podcast. Like, comment, subscribe for more on a bi-weekly basis.